Thank you so much for that. I think it was quite interesting actually to see what the wool industry is doing. Um, it sets a good platform for basically the next couple of presenters who will be talking about emerging farmers more specifically and incorporating them into the export market. We know that there has been a great deal of work done by industries on the ground as the NAMC who works with them quite closely. We know that there's a lot of initiatives that are done by industries on the ground to try and assist the farmers, especially when it comes to production. It'll be very interesting today to see some of the initiatives that are done to actually incorporate them, not only just facilitating the growth in their production and seeing what the numbers are doing in their production and the black farmer share in the respective industries, but also seeing what is actually happening with the export market. How are they doing, or what are some of the initiatives that are on hand that are going to be done, are being done, and still need to be done? And this provides a great platform for even the farmers who are with us today to actually engage these industries if they'd want to be part of these export value chains. This then brings us to our next speaker, which is Miss Beauty Mokgwamme from the Mohair Empowerment Trust. Miss Beauty is a passionate advocate for mohair industry. She is dedicated to work with Angora goats and uplifting the lives of farmers. She has more than 16 years of experience in agriculture, and she has focused on small stock production and the practical training of mohair and wool as well. Her journey began at Grootfontein College of Agriculture some years ago now, and in 2018 she joined the Mohair Empowerment Trust, where she fulfills her dream of empowering, training and uplifting emerging farmers to become commercial Angora goat farmers. She is not just a great worker in the corporate space, but she's also a devoted wife and mother of three. She's committed to her calling, is evident in her daily work to improve the mohair industry and support the community of farmers she serves. Today, she will be presenting to us about the incorporation of emerging mohair farmers in the export value chain. Please take it away, Miss Beauty.
Thank you, Tandeka. What an introduction. It became emotional every time when I listen to this, to the introduction of Beauty. Thank you for the platform, and thank you to the organizing team to invite us in this platform to share the work on the ground that the industries are striving to assist the emerging farmers. From my side, I will be talking more into the initiative that was established by the industry, the Mohair Empowerment Trust, that is now existing for 15 years. As it was mentioned in your introduction, Chair, that I joined the industry in 2018, and it's been a great journey and a lot of challenges because we're working with emerging farmers, that are developing. Behind the great work of the Empowerment Trust, we have the team that you see on the screen, myself as Beauty, and Sandy Lengwane. These are two officials that are responsible for the Mohair Empowerment Trust in the industry, with the full support from the Mohair South Africa team. And of course, the whole entire industry is behind this transformation drive, if I may say. And my presentation will be more into, I'm not going to talk a lot about the export because we are exporting. I will explain the work, how we engage or how we incorporate the emerging or MET partners into this entire value chain. So as I mentioned earlier, the Empowerment Trust was established by the South African mohair industry back in 2010, and with a clear objective of promoting the Black economic empowerment within the mohair industry. The vision is always to ensure the sustainable mohair supply. As we all know that the South Africa is the leader in terms of production. We with Mohair globally, we're producing, the last record 2024 was 54% globally production. And the Empowerment Trust is also contributing to that. This was established to establish the Black participants and the entrepreneurs within the industry, but mostly important to commercialize these Black farmers within the industry. We are working at, driving the Empowerment Trust with the trustees, which are represented by the chairman of the Mohair Trust, the chairman of Mohair South Africa, the commercial farmer from the Mohair growers in South Africa, and one trustee is our Black commercial farmer that was established by this trust or graduated from this program. He sits in the trustees when the decisions are taken in how we assist our farmers. And one trustee, as Thandeka mentioned earlier, that the NAMC work closely with these communities, and one trustee is representing the National Agricultural Marketing Council. We're not doing this alone. We do it with our partners. Our farmers that we are assisting, they are the beneficiaries of land reform because, as I mentioned, we're aiming to commercialize the Black farmers, meaning we need a space to do so. We need a farm to do so. So these farmers are the beneficiaries of land reform, beneficiaries of Dr. Dai in terms of infrastructure, the Department of Rural Development, Agrarian Reform. They assist us, and we work closely with this department in regular engagements and showcasing the work that we do for them to prioritize these projects in terms of infrastructure. We also have brokers that are working closely with our farmers. Once we have a partnership with that specific farmer or emerging farmer, they then work with any of these brokers, which is your BKB, OVK, Blue Crane, and House of Fiber. We will then have an official agreement with these brokers for the export or for the marketing of their product for the Empowerment Trust to get back the payment. I will explain later how we do that. We also have a powerful relationship with the First Rand Empowerment Foundation, that I think it came with the work of the Empowerment Trust, that they've seen what we do in terms of transformation. And for the past 3 years, they've been supporting the trust in making sure that we fast track what we do and we can even empower more. We also have a relationship with the African Enterprise Network, that is a Black-owned and a training institution to ensure that we do training that is accredited. And we recently signed the MOU with the NAMC and AgriSeta to support the training under this work of the trust. We also have, again, another powerful partnership with the Eastern Cape Development Corporation that also came seeing the work that we do as an industry. Will later explain what have been done or what we achieved with the ECDC just in 1 year. And we also have a lot of support. This morning I received a message from my manager confirming the donation from one brand. So we also have a huge support from the brands, again, with the work of the trust that we do. We've been empowering since 2010, and we are commercializing the previously disadvantaged farmers within the mohair industry. For us to be able to assist these farmers, as I mentioned, we need a farm where we can be able to start the project. We currently have 8 development projects that involve about 7,000 goats. And out of that 7, we have that is the current project, and we have, if you can go into the next slide, we have settled about 8 projects since 2019. Out of these 8 projects that are settled, we are able to say out of them, we have some commercial farmers that we established through this program that we are proud of. And in each and every project that's settled out of this program, they are today standing and sustainable farming with Angora codes. And we don't stop the relationship with these farmers. We continue to support, to visit. We can easily, we still continue to even report on in terms of the production to see if they're still standing and farming successful with Angora codes. In 2024, we managed to empower the females. I keep on saying this because it's normally known that farmers will be most of the time males. We empowered the females, and amongst those two females, we have a very young female that she's about 30 years old in Alwal North Dintle. I will also explain later. And we identified about 3 projects and of 20 that will be implemented in this 2025. And I can report that out of that 3, we already started with 1 in the Elliot area that we are piloting and wanting to expand in that area. It's not really an Angora goat-friendly land, but we're looking forward to see how can we expand in that area. And I must say the goats arrived 4 or 5 weeks back, and they've been adapting, and we're excited to see how we can assist even more emerging farmers in that area. What we provide, or how do we assist these emerging farmers? It's through or via the Angora via an interest-free loan, and we do it in 5-year period. And we buy these goats ourselves, and we make sure that when we buy in these goats, the partners that will be identified at a time, or as I say now, we approved 3 projects. We make sure that we invite these farmers when we're buying goats. They are part of purchasing and obviously approving or are comfortable with the price that we negotiate on the ground with the community. We try to buy from the commercial farmers, make sure that we buy quality goats as an industry with all the support. As I mentioned, we're doing this with the entire industry. We work closely with our field agents, and we make sure that even when we're purchasing goats for our farmers, because it's an interest-free loan that they need to pay back, we make sure that they are happy with the price and its quality that can pay back the loan in 5 years' time. So there is an entry level, and we exit in 5 years' time, and hoping to be in the commercial level with that farmer when we exit the project. And I mentioned we have about 8 projects that graduated, and we are proud to say we achieved the commercialization of the emerging farmers. We make sure that we do training. This is my special part of my work on the ground, to make sure that we continue with training. And because we're specializing with this special mohair product that most of our emerging farmers, they start learning a lot out of it. We make sure that they understand the product itself. I mean, making sure when they're sharing the goats, we are on the ground, we are available to assist for them to understand and class and prepare their clip right for the market, and to understand those characteristics from buying. As I mentioned, when we're buying these goats, we involve them in that process and build the relationships with the commercial farmers, with the field agent, with the brokers. And in terms of sharing also, we visit the farmers, we make sure that they continue to farm successful through the sharing that training that we do. I must mention in a late 2 weeks, end of to the last 2 weeks of March, we'll be doing a very important training. I will give more information later. You can go to the next slide. Yeah, we're not only supporting our partners for the Empowerment Trust, but we support any farmer that farm with Angora goats, and we give that assistance to them, to any upcoming farmers in the industry. And we also make sure that we promote the Black economic empowerment within the industry. And as I mentioned, we are leading as a country, and our farmers so far are contributing 20 plus minus 25,000 of kilogram per annum. We're sharing the cost twice a year, and this is what we are contributing as Empowerment Trust so far. I'm just going to run through the footprint of the Mohair Empowerment Trust. Going to the next slide, as I mentioned, in 2024, we started very strong empowering our mothers, our sisters. This is Musara in the Janssenville area, where the Angora goats are striving very successful in that area. It's a home of Angora goats. Musara, as we speak, we started with her and her team last year with about 300 kapatas, and we went very well. The first phase went very well. We are now in the second phase, where we are looking to now start with the breeding ewes. On Tuesday, I was with her buying some ewes, and we started beginning of this year looking for proper quality rams, and we're excited to see commercializing Musara. The next one will be our younger farmer, the youngest farmer, or black young female farmer in South Africa, Udinhle Maphala. She's sitting in a very small farm, but we're proud how she is going on with the goats. I think she took every experience from her father, and she's very passionate young female farmer, not only Angora goats, but we're excited to bring her on board. And yeah, the next, I'm just quickly going to show the footprint. This is now in the Grahamstown area, where we have about 3 farmers that we started back in we're finishing in 2027 with them. And the next will be this is just nice to show how the footprint of the Empowerment Trust that we work in entire areas of Angora goats. This is now in Aberdeen or Malon. Surely the department themselves, they know him very well. And the next will be Otatu Ndlela Mzwakhe Ndlela in the Adelaide area that we are finishing with him this year. We're excited to see him graduating successful out of the program. The next will be Johnson Mandlendota in Middelburg. Also, we had some delays. We will be graduating sometime this year, and we're still working very nice with Otatu Johnson. But Lloyd James in the Somerset area, we're excited also to see him graduating in the next month. We also excited. I think the NAMC officials can attest to this. We were in his farm 2 weeks back, and they've seen what we're talking about when we're talking Empowerment Trust. They've seen numbers of goats in good quality, and they've seen a farm that is well managed, and they've seen goats that are ready to be shown soon. And the next will be the settled project that I mentioned earlier. We quickly you can quickly just go through. Umamu Katie and Tatu Simon, they've farming very successful with Angora goats. I think they've been with the goats. We wrote through our newsletter this year, we wrote in a beautiful article, just giving a bit of a background. They grew up as farm workers working with goats from many years ago. And today they are just working very hard. And we're so proud to see them at this age, striving with goats and doing so well. In terms of price, I must say they're doing well. As we speak, their product is at the brokers waiting for a market in the 3rd auction that is coming in March. And we're excited to see how they will do. They are responsible Mohair standard certified. Yeah, we can move on. We're proud of them, and we see the work of the Empowerment Trust. The same with the Funny Brothers. Again, NMC was at Funny Brothers last week, and they've seen the work of the Empowerment Trust. I think even via this newsletter, end of this week, you'll see goats that are ready. As I was saying, we are in the sharing season, ready for sharing. They are in good quality, and we are fortunate that in some of our areas we received rain. And these farmers also, in the same day that we visited them, they had a visit from the broker side to making sure that they remain sustainable, responsible Mohair standard certified. The next will be in the Western Cape province, Utatu Jackson. They also settled a few years back, and it's just showing that we're not only assisting in the Eastern Cape, but all the suitable areas of Angora goats. These two men, they also continuing farming sustainable with Angora goats. This is also another project that settled in Komadaha area a few years back in 2019. They're also continuing farming with goats. This is now in Matatiela. Utatu Harris, our late Tatu Harris, his family, they continuing to farm with Angora goats. Leon and Balkans in the Grafrenet area, settled and proud farming with Angora goats in that area. We handed over the ECDC project in their farm late last year. I will share later. Mokgwamme and Otatu Frank Williams in the Komadaha area also graduated out of this program. And lastly, I think is our Ayanda Mehlo, that we managed to make a record with Ayanda. He settled. He is the first, our first producer or emerging farmer now, commercial farmer that managed to produce, 3 tons of mohair in 6 months' time. And in a year time, about 6. We're so proud of Ayanda, and he's farming very successful with Angora goats. The powerful relationship that I mentioned earlier with First Rent, we're just gonna move from this slide, but the partnership with First Rent was to make sure that we improve the genetics in our flocks, to fast track the work of the Empowerment Trust, and we are able to even identify or to assist more projects in a year. I think a few years back, we used to assist only 1 farm a year. You can see we're talking less numbers. We're really not chasing numbers. We're working on making sure that we have an impact in what we do. And with the assistance from First Rent, we managed to now assist 2-3 projects in a year. The next is the collaboration with the ECDC. This was launched last year, March. And going to the next slide is just in that launch, we were given or we were supported with 1 million project in terms making sure that in a agri-processing fund to make sure that we assist our farmers, and we have put or invested that funding into a sharing equipment that were handed over late last year. So the funding was given to us in the beginning of the year, and by the end of last year, we made sure that it's handed over. It was exciting to make sure that we are improving the systems within our farmers. Now is sharing, instead of sharing in a week or 2 weeks' time, they can speed up the process of sharing and make sure that they prepare their clip very well for marketing. And this is just the team and the support. As I mentioned, there is Dr. Darland Reform, our MET farmers. On the day, there is ECDC and Mr. Akos Kenjan that handed over the equipment. And by March, with the partnership with NMC, AgriSita, and NWGA, we will be doing a proper training on this, because we have electrical machines that will be giving proper training to our farmers in how to use these machines. This is just mentioned that we also have a partnership with the African Enterprise Network to make sure that we give our farmers an accredited training courses. And I mentioned that we're receiving donations sometimes from brands, small donations, and then we look what can we do more. This is the work that was done or started, the partnership that started last year with Ruth. If you can see her there with our farm workers' wives that we have identified, and we started giving them a course in knitting with mohair. And we are planning to take this into a next level to make sure to identify the ladies that manage to do well with the course, and if we can start establishing the entrepreneurs that I spoke about earlier. I think I'm towards the end of my presentation. These are just products that came out of this training that was done last year. In 2 days' time, we managed to get this product out of these ladies. In next week on the 26th, we're handing over the certificates, and we're then taking those that can go forward with the business. And it's exciting. Yeah, I just wanted to mention also the challenges that we are facing in this hard water. It's always a challenge to most of our farmers, not only in the mohair industry, but yeah, in our case with our farmers, because when we're starting the project with emerging farmers, you can imagine we're bringing numbers of goats. So the running of the cost operation will be a challenge. And if there is within the hard water area, we really have problems and challenges of losing goats through the hard water, or not. It's very expensive for our farmers. And also recently we have been challenged with the stock theft and the carrying capacity. As I mentioned, our aim is to commercialize these farmers. Carrying capacity is always a blocking challenge that we cannot get where we want to go with our farmers. And the drought, I think, is a challenge for everyone, but we appreciate the rain that we received recently with our farmers. With that few slides, I think I have shown the work that we do as Empowerment Trust. I know there are a lot of questions that you can ask how one qualify. And maybe I can just say, yes, our work with Sandile is to identify those farmers that have an access to a farm that is also suitable for farming with Angora goats. And we then go and assess the farm. And if we see there is a potential, we then prepare the presentation to the trustees that I mentioned earlier. And then it is then from our recommendations and from their side, we then approve the application, and then we start the process of assisting our farmers. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for that comprehensive presentation. I think there's a lot of takeaway that we can see from there. There's a lot of work being done by the Mohair Empowerment Trust. We can see that there is a lot of empowering of emerging farmers, both Black, young, and more recently female. And I think a key takeaway from my side was there is a lot of collaboration with commercial farmers, with banks, with the departments, with various industries. And I think with some of the outputs that you have shared with us today, it proves to show how much can be done with collaboration. I will take the few hands that are on the floor. I think there was one first question from Fumulani first, who asks, what are the funding requirements? I think you did slightly touch on that as you were ending your presentation. And then I'll take the other two questions. Firstly, Palisa. Yes, Palisa.
Sorry, I was on mute. Hi, Beauty. I wanted to find out. I know you guys are doing exceptional work in the Eastern Cape together with the Department of Agriculture, and I know this is also a conversation you and I have had in terms of how do we then move the wonderful work that you've done in the Eastern Cape up in the Northwest, because the industry is growing, and I would even say it's growing quite aggressively. So are there conversations in place currently in terms of some sort of a MOU with the department? If not, is there a possibility of looking into that in the near future? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. I'll take another one from Paul.
Thank you very much, and a very good morning to everyone and the presenter. We would really appreciate the presentation, especially the transformation aspects. I've got about 3 questions. I want to check as to whether do you have any relations, or are you doing anything in respect to the Africa Continental Free Trade Initiative in respect to looking at the potential markets which your clients can export to? If there's anything that you are doing, would want to perhaps to share with us, as it seems we are lagging behind on that area. In respect to market agents, do you have a number of market agents that you are working with in order to solicit markets from different corners of the globe? The last one, in your trust, do you have a specialist or someone who's dealing with market access? I think that will be my 3 questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Paul. Those are the only questions I'll be taking. Beauty, you can answer the questions.
Thank you, Thandeka, our chair. Let me first take the requirements. When I was just listening to other presenters in the morning, I thought I should have maybe included the requirement. The requirements for us to assist you as an emerging farmer, these Angora goats, they have their own specific environment where they strive better in the Karoo. So firstly, it needs to be on a suitable area where they can where we can make success of this. But I will come to Palisa. I know Palisa she's now in Gauteng, which is not within the Mohair or Angora goat suitable areas, but we've seen beautiful goats doing very well in those areas. But with the trust, they're very strict to make sure that we are within the suitable areas of Angora goats. You must have a farm that has a good infrastructure, like your shearing shed, your dipping tank, proper fencing, because when we're farming with these goats, we want not to inbreed with other breeds. You make sure that you're keeping them to maintain proper quality hair. So proper fencing, just to make sure that they are farmed successfully without being with other breeds. Dipping tank, we keep on dipping, we dip, maintaining a quality hair, and make sure that the goats are free of external parasites, because they're growing about 25 millimeters of hair a month. In 6 months' time, we want to share good quality hair, clean, and we now dip the goats now and then. We really need that dipping tank. Shearing shed where we share the goats. It doesn't have to be a special shearing shed, but a space where it's clean, to avoid contamination, to have nice sunlight or direction on, clear lights on the shearing shed. So the shearing shed is also important. And then the farm that has obviously grazing, making sure that when we bring in these numbers of goats, they will be farmed with care. We look at that, and if you have that farm, it's either you lease or you own the farm. Then lease agreement, long-term lease agreement, since we are in 5 years contract, a long-term lease agreement, a business plan for your business, approval if you are a land reform beneficiary, approval from land reform that will be partnering with you, and also in terms of your capital, as I mentioned, we're bringing numbers of goats that will need to be farmed immediately, just to look at the financial part of your side. But we really not saying if you don't have capital or background, we're not going to assist, but just to look at you, make sure that you proper farm. Those are the requirements. I think farm, a business plan, approval from land reform or title or lease agreement or title deed. And then the other question from Palisa is, do we have any work with the department in the Northwest? Because we have known Palisa and she's been farming with goats for a few years, and we are looking to work even more close with Palisa, and we are looking to expand in that area with a relationship with the department or not relationship with them. We will be trying our best to assist Palisa. But once we are in that area and we start building our relationship with the Northwest department, I am sure we can have those discussions of having MOU and see how we bring them and make a relationship that is similar to the Eastern Cape. So that is how I answer Palisa, but we're looking forward to really assist Palisa. And once we are that side, having a partnership with you, we'll build a relationship with the Northwest. And the last question, I'll start. We do not have any partnership or work with Africa continental something. I didn't get that whole word. In terms of a market, the Mohair Empowerment Trust office is based within the Mohair South Africa, and the responsibility of Mohair South Africa is from the farm, from the ground, from the farm to the end. I mean, including your brokers, the export and everything. So Mohair South Africa office that we are running this trust from, it is responsible for the marketing of the product. And I think the industry as a whole work as one industry. As I'm saying, Mohair South Africa look after the farmers to make sure to the end product. And the industry has established the pathway for these farmers to market their product. And we as an industry, or Mohair South Africa, is also managing about 14 auctions. So we have 7 auctions in the summer season. Since sharing goes twice a year, we also have another 7 auctions in the winter season that are about 6 farmers in South Africa sitting in that open price system where our products are marketed fairly, I think. So that's how we work with our farmers. And I think the other question was, there was a question about we do not export to any Africa at this stage, only in Swaziland.
Thank you very much, Ms. Mokgwamme, for all the answers, and thank you everyone for all the questions as well. Thank you for the great presentation. Again, everyone, we will share the presentations with all the contact details of everyone who's been presenting here today so that you can engage with them further. You may feel free as well to engage in the chat box so that they are able to answer your questions from there.